artist, and I've been teaching for over 50 years, teaching children and teaching adults, and I really enjoy the teaching. And I paint everything that I see. If you're wondering where I get my inspiration, we travel. We travel all over the world. Also, I come from New York, and New York is an interesting place to paint. It's very colorful. Buildings, the traffic, the cabs, the people. And now, get your palette, get your brushes, and let's get started. Hi, welcome to From the Painter's Palette. My name is Judy Wengrovitz. I'm an artist. I'm also an instructor, and I live in Fairfax County. And today I'm here to show you how to do a watercolor painting and to show you various techniques. Hope you learn something, and let's get started. This is my sketch. This time I decided to work from a photograph. It's sort of a complicated photograph, but I'm going to try and simplify it for you. But it's complicated to do a table and chairs, so I'm going to do something special. I'm going to show you very quickly how to draw a table. This is a Sharpie pen, and I'm going to draw a cylinder. I'm drawing it lightly. Most people, when they draw a cylinder, draw points and everything. Okay, here's my cylinder. First, I'm going to show you how to do a table. And here's a cylinder. On the top, it's like this. On the bottom, it gets a little bit wider. Okay, now I'm going to draw my table. So the table I have may be a little crooked because I'm working vertically. Okay, and then I'm going to try to do the middle here. It may not be perfectly in the middle, and there's a middle leg, and there are two side legs. Okay, that's the table. Let's draw a chair. Okay, let's draw a box. Very lightly, I'm doing it so that when I make it darker, you can see. Here's my box. I'm making it so you see it's like a glass box. This is the best I can do upright like that. And, okay, watch. This is the back of the chair, and let's make a chair leaning back. Let's make this chair leaning back. Okay, let's do it a little darker so you can see how nice it is and how easy it is to draw a chair. Oh, here is another side, hopefully, and here's one leg. Here's one leg, here's one leg. Hopefully I got the back leg in the right place, and we could vary it. I could make curves. Well, I slipped a little bit. Curves. I might even curve the seat a little bit. And I can build up the chair any way I want to. I can make a design on the chair, whatever I want to do. And I thought it would be a good idea to show you how to do a table. All right, I'm going to take this off here, and let's get started. Thinking of what to start first, there's a lot in this painting. So what I did first was the tabletop in the photograph is light. I wanted to save that light. So on here, on the legs and everything, I painted this, says art masking fluid. I painted this so the table will stay white after I do everything. I'm going to use this brush this time. This is a sort of a number, I don't know, number 10 or something. Number 8, my favorite brush. And I'm going to first do this wall back here, and there are plants. Okay, and the wall is sort of an orangey red. So I'm going to mix up a little orangey red. Let's see if this color is good. And I'm going to make the wall. And there happens to be a little flower pot over here. Now these colors, I might end up going over them. And the color that I'm using now is a red, orange, and a burnt sienna. And I'm making the little flower pot. It might be light. And now what I'm going to do is there's a wall back here. This wall has some plants in front of it. And I'm going to do some plants, but then I'm going to do something tricky. So the final color here is an underpainting, so watch closely because this is really fun. I'm going to paint a little bit of a green. Yeah, it's sort of a yellow green. I'm going to paint this wall, and this has a plant. I don't know what kind of plant this is. It's a plant that's sort of stringy looking, and I'm mixing different shades of yellow. Okay, and I'm painting right over this chair. Hopefully I don't cover it up completely. The reason I'm painting over the chair is because it's sort of a black wrought iron, and I could go back over the green with that black wrought iron. And actually, there's some other plants here. Some of them are like ivy climbing up the side of the wall. Okay, so I changed the color a little bit here. And I know I will go ahead and change things even more. I'm mixing a lot of colors with my green. I'm just doing some preliminary colors. I will change some of them, but right now, and I'm excited about doing this painting. It looks complicated, but I want to show you how simple it is. But it might be simple for you if you watch Claire and try it out. I keep mixing greens, and okay. Oh, this is nice. I don't mind going over the table actually, because my table, as I told you before, has this masking fluid on it, and hopefully it works and it will stay white. I have a lot to do on this painting, and I can make it simple if I think ahead what to do first. Okay, actually I'm going to paint the wall itself. I'm going to make the wall brick. But the first thing I'm going to do is to find a color here. Okay. And I'm going to paint the mortar on the bricks first. This is where I'm going to begin to show you all kinds of things, especially, let's see. I'm making the mortar. I'm using 2 colors. Okay, I think I have some mortar. I'm using ultramarine blue. Yeah. And burnt sienna, and I think I'll make some more yellow. Let's see. But it's only the mortar, because on top of this mortar, wait till you see, I'm going to be painting brick color. I'm going to put, let's see, a little bit over here. There's some more. Oh, I can paint over. Can you see how the paint is resisting sticking on that masking fluid I told you about? Okay, I'm painting the mortar. In order for that table to look white, I got to get a little color around it. Now over here, I have the mortar, and when you see the wall, that table will seem white, but I'd like to paint the whole floor. It's a little wider and it's flat. And I think I'm going to wet the whole area and then put a very light color, light but darker than the table. I'm wetting it with just plain water. The reason I selected this painting is because I thought it would be a good lesson on how to do some table and chairs. Okay, let's see what I'm going to do down here. I'm trying to decide what color. Well, I got to get a little darker, and I'll soon tell you what color I'm using. Sort of a dirty color, but I have to make it a little darker. So okay, here we go. I might have to make it darker than that, but I don't want to get too dark. And so I'm mixing a mixture of ultramarine blue, burnt sienna, and a little, ooh, yeah. I don't know. We'll see if it's dark enough. I can't really tell if it's dark enough until I remove the masking fluid and see if that looks white. I might have to make this a little darker. I have a little white. Yeah. I have a little white on my palette. It's hard to tell. And that white is right in the spot that I'm picking up some color. So it's not much of a color, but I don't want to make it too dark. It might be a little darker. We'll see. I'm excited about seeing if I can work this out. Back here, on the other side of this wall, is a house. Well, at least I made it a house. And there is a window showing. So I'm going to put a little color on the house itself. But I don't want it to be too dark because I want it to be darker than this, so it doesn't detract from the tabletop that's white. So I'm going back over everything, and that's the window and the, okay. Whoops, okay. I hope this is dark enough here because I'm also going to put shadows of the plant. Shadow. Let me see if this plant is dry. I'm going to pick up my other brush over here, and I'm not picking this brush down permanently because this time I'm going to do something different. I'm mixing my green, and I'm going to get a dark, let's see. I'm getting okay. Let's see. Let's try it in one place over here. Oh, that's dark. Let's see. Wow. Let's hope this doesn't dry. I stop now quickly. Oh, it works beautifully. As you can see, oh, terrific. What happened was I put a yellow down because I knew if I would go over like this, the yellow would show through. And so I did a little bit. And the reason I did a little bit is I don't want it to dry. So I'm going to put some more now. I did another little bit here, and this scrapes off so good. Oh boy, this is terrific. well, better not take any chances. It's going to go over the chair. And I'm thinking, you know, I don't want to lose this drawing. So I'm going to make it a little darker. Still see the pencil lines. So now I can see it. And I'll do a few strands here. And so I'm using, you know, you could, if you didn't have this brush, you'd have to have some nice long fingernails. You could use fingernails. In fact, I used to use fingernails before I discovered this brush. Area with a tree or a plant like that over here. Okay, let's try it. And maybe I'll do a different color. Let's see if I can do it. Slightly different color. I'm really picking up this white. It's a little lighter. However, what's happened now is something else you should be aware of. And what is happening is this time, when I put the paint on, it was wetter. Let's see if it works now. Yeah, it's still working. I have to do this very quickly. I want to do it so it dries up. I put that masking solution that I told you, which I pour out into a little container, and I paint it with a brush. I have painted that masking solution in other places, a few spots, probably more, I should have done more. And I decided to put some flowers on some of these bushes. So let's find the flowers. In fact, what I'll do, I'll show you another technique. I'm going to take yellow, and I can't tell you what yellow this is exactly, because I just bought a lot of yellows, and I don't know one from another. And I'm going to go ahead and paint the entire bush quickly. Of course, you could probably see, this is going to be an underpainting too. You could now probably see what I did here. This is the masking fluid here. Now, let's see. Yeah, this green is it's called Hooker's Green. And I'm going to paint this bush. See, it's a different shade of green. I'm painting it very quickly. Okay, and now, you know, I'm so excited about this. I'm going to show you how to do this wall. I'm going to make it a brick wall, and because I want to show you how to make bricks. All right, so what I brought along this time was my favorite brick brush. One of them. This is sort of narrow. This brush is a little brush, but it has a flat edge. Let me do a little bit of the bricks and show you what happens. So what I'm going to use is which color? Let's see. Oh, I don't know about that color. And I'm trying out, wow. This is a little bright. Oh, maybe this is better. Let's try it. And I'm trying out, yeah. I'll do a little bit of this. Maybe a little fat. Oh, I might have found another one. This is slightly different. I'll do this one and see what happens. You see the difference between the brushes? One's flat, one's a little round. Let me do a little round and see what happens. Oh, it is pretty nice. Notice the difference. I don't want to ruin, I can ruin it, but notice the difference between the size of this brush. The color I used, by the way, to get this was a burnt sienna with a little bit of crimson. It's a little bright. But I really want to show you how this works, even if it's bright. There is a deep shadow underneath this top part of the, I'm going to do a shadow here. That turned out to be purple, which is okay. Actually, I feel like doing this, even though it might not make sense. Yeah, okay. Okay, that purple is so good that I'm going to try something different. I'm going to use it in another place. What I'm going to do is, yeah, it's funny. I was able to, I'm going to use it in some shadows because I liked it. Oh, I'm losing it a little bit. Making some little shadows of the, I wanted to make some shadows here too. Actually, they may not be here, so I'm going to cheat a little bit. And it's not a bad color. It's funny that I was able to use it. Well, let me show you something else. At the bottom of this shadow, there's a drip. I don't want it. I take my brush and I run it here, and the drip disappears. So I'm going to make a shadow. I'm losing my purple, so I don't want to lose it. So I'm going to take a drop. I'll hear it back again. A drop of ultramarine. Okay. See, it's a little different color already. And hopefully I like it, because if I don't like it, then it's too bad, because I have to leave it. But, okay, and I made a shadow over here. There's a tree here, or a bush, and I made that shadow coming, this one a little lighter, because I had a little bit more water here. Oh, make it a little darker. I have to be very careful just to dip. When you dip your brush into the paint, instead of dipping, going like this, you take a drop, a little drop, and a little drop goes a long way. So you have to sort of experiment. See what happens? I added a little bit more, got a little bit more purple on it. Hope it looks okay later. But this is just a teaching thing. And if it doesn't look okay, well, you may have learned something anyhow. And I'm working very fast. I might end up either going over this or what. And actually, the tabletop, I forgot. I made a little tiny bit of shadow over here of this wall. So this tabletop will show up nice and white. Oh, I can go right over my chair, too. Okay, this time I'm using something new. And the reason, again, is to show you something. This time, let's see, hopefully this works. Oh, I pulled out. These are sponges, and they are really real sponges, not the kind you buy in the grocery store for your kitchen. Actually, they could be torn. I tore one off. Let me see what it looks like. I will use one of them. And when you tear them off, you get all kinds of variety of stuff. So I'm going to stick it in the water, and let's see what happens. I'm going to get, let's see if okay. I have to move up. Oh, let's mix it all together and see what happens. I don't want this to be too bright. So I am mixing several colors together, and let's see. Actually, it's not bad. What I did this time was take my sponge, dip it into my mixture, which had, and it still has the white from my palette, it had ultramarine blue, hooker's green, and a little burnt sienna. I'm going to do this brush the same way, but I don't want it to be that color, so let's go ahead, and this time, and most of the time I'm using this brush. So I'm taking a little, I don't want it to be the same color. Well, let's see what this looks like. I don't know what this looks like till I try it. I wish I didn't have that white, but well, it might be helping me, I don't know. It has to be different enough. Add a yellow. Yeah. Let's see what I'm going to do now. The reason I'm doing this is because I had put some masking solution to save some flowers. So let's go back and touch the top bush. Let's see what I'm going to make, what color. I have a mixture of greens, a little bit better. And I told you not to just jump in with your brush. And I can't tell what these look like yet because I have a lot more to do. But I want to do it quickly. Okay, I'll tell you what. As long as it bothers me, I might as well show you. I did it again. When I have fresh paint squeezed out, I have to take very little of it. Otherwise, it gets too dark. And I'm trying to get a certain darkness. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go between those scraped off marks. I could even do this, some of this darker, by covering up some of these scrape marks and going between. Okay, while I have this in my hand, doing this side of the wall here. Actually, that came out by accident, but I think I'll leave it. One thing I like about watercolor, well, I like and I don't like. You know, you get a lot of accidents. Well, do you want those accidents? Sometimes that's just what you want, and sometimes it's not. And when it's not, let's see. Oh, at that time, that's not. That's a not. Yeah. Okay. Actually, I want to put a little shadow here. I'm going to put the shadow right on top of the bricks. so the bricks don't look so artificial. Okay, this time I'm using this smaller brush because the other one is too sharp. Okay. What happened is I had too much paint on my brush, so I had to stop and wipe some of it off. It's a little bit dark, so I don't want it so even though I know it's even, because it gets too artificial. I mean, it might be a little artificial, but I'm looking at this, and it's sort of exciting to do. Actually, I'm really not looking at my photograph either. As you can see, well, there's a lot of changes. I think I have to make my shadows darker, actually, because they're darker in there, but I'm not going to bother with that because I have to go ahead and finish other things. Okay. I know I want to get this darker underneath because I like it over there. Sometimes it's a good practice sometimes to work from photographs, but that doesn't mean you can't change everything. And it's even better. You could just use the photograph as an inspiration. I don't want to take this off. I will after everything dries. I'll put my brushes out here so I would remember what brush to take for what. Okay, I'm taking a little bit of, ooh, yeah, this is good. I'm taking a little, I'm using the same brush since I have it in my hand. I'm taking a little ultramarine blue, a little burnt sienna, and I'll make some shadows here. This is, I told you there's a house behind here. So, because there's a house behind here, and I might make it a little lighter or a little darker so you can see the house. Okay, so I'm going to take this off now. Oh, I don't, okay, where should I put it? I'll put it over here. It comes this whole background. So, okay, I see what I should do. I'm going to start it off with I'm going to use, oh, there's a lot of drips here. Let me catch them. Okay, now I'm going to do this tree light, and then I'm going to do what I've done here. In fact, I have to work here a little bit, is to put the dark over the light. So I'm going to do the light first. And what I'm going to do is I'm getting little, well, I'm sort of mixing everything together here, which may be okay. Let's see. I don't want the things, yeah, it's not bad. I don't want all the greens to be the same. So I'm going to go over this green after I put some down. The reason it's this strange color is because what I did was mix, I mixed, oh, here I go again. I mixed everything together. I want this to be, but I want to do this quickly. There's a lot to do on this painting. Mainly, I really want to do the chairs. Well, I have to leave some spaces because these are going to be trees. The tree is not completely, it has some spaces so that you can see through. And I'm getting different colors because I'm just sticking my brush into everything on my palette, and I have a mixture of, right now, everything. If you look at my palette, it doesn't look like I have a mixture, but I do. See, as I say, I'm jumping around because it's exciting and I don't know what to do first. Well, I sort of know what to do first. Something happened, I'm going to have to make something out of it. Okay, what happens is if there's a mistake or something happens on your painting, you've got to make it as part of the painting. Well, I looked down just now and lo and behold, there was a big stain over here. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do? Well, I probably will add some more shadows. And I'm going to have to wipe off my palette. I'm not going to do it right now. I'm going to work with the greens some more. I don't like all this white showing out of the window. Make it a little darker. I think that I can do my table and chairs so you can see what they look like. I have 2 narrow brushes. Let's see. Well, this one seems to have a good point. This used to have a good point, but I used it so much. Let's see what happens. Use a little paper towel. Yeah, I have to wipe off. Okay, so now take my ultramarine blue, take my burnt sienna, swirl it around here, and get, let's see, okay, here goes. I got to get a little bit of water on here because it's not moving. Never use this brush. This is a new brush. Oh, let's. You could see a little bit of blue here. And the seat is, no, I'm not going to do the seat first. I'm going to do this chair. Hopefully, they're the right angles. Oh, I'm really excited because I have not done this type of painting before with chairs. And maybe, you know, if your hand slips a little bit, things change. So wow, this is exciting. So I'm going to paint the seat of the chair. It's a little lighter. It actually turned out a color, and I didn't know it was going to turn out this color. Ultramarine blue, but with water. That's pretty good. Okay, now let's go ahead. I'm going to take out, I'm going to erase the top of the table. And here is my eraser, which looks strange. And it's like, looks like a sole of a shoe. Okay, so I take this, and I sure hope it looks, yeah, it looks a little lighter. And I'm running this eraser on my masking fluid. That's not bad. And I'm going to erase part of the leg, even though the leg isn't erased in here. Okay, and now I'm going to put some dark on it. Let's see if I got it all off. I think so. Oh, I slipped. Put a little dark there, and put a little dark underneath. I hope I don't have that masking fluid on here. And a little dark. There are some teacups on the table. Let's see what I'm going to make them a color. Try another color here, which I haven't used. And I'm trying, let's see. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, I made them blue. And put a little plate underneath. Yeah, just to make it simple, a little blue napkin here. And make another little blue napkin. I didn't put any cookies. We're not eating cookies today. Although I feel like having cookies right now, I don't have time. Let's get the tree really dark. And I want to make sure I have the color that I like. So, I think I'll use this brush. Okay, so let's take Hooker's Green, Burnt Sienna, Ultramarine Blue. Okay, yeah. That's a good color, at least I think so. So you have to use just your eyes and, you know, and mixture of swirling them around. I want it to be dark. Well, there's a lot of things involved with this. First of all, how do I hold my brush? I'm holding my brush differently too. And I shouldn't make a lot of paint. Well, I didn't make enough paint to cover everything. So that means I have to mix it up again. And okay. So Okay, let's mix up the colors quickly again. I'll just do a little bit here to show you. They don't come out exactly the same all over. Here's this plant here. These colors are faded looking in a way, so we'll see how it looks. I'm using a lot of water to go fast. You hear it scraping because I'm working on dry paper now. And I have a mixture on my palette of all different shades of green. Another thing that I see that has to be done, what I'm thinking is, let's see what. I want you to get this shadow a little darker. Let me try another thing I'm doing now is mixing. I can use this brush because it's very nice and it forms a point. So what I'm doing is in I think I'll put some branches. Yeah. That's why I left some spaces here, and I wanted to really do some more color here. Oh. This is a little flower pot here. And do some branches. I made my branches mixture. Try to mix them up with gray. I like this brush. This brush, even though it's a big brush, forms a nice point. And let's see. I'm putting another little tree here. This is a little flower pot here. You know what? I feel like putting some geraniums in there. So, because I haven't used this color, maybe it doesn't go, but I just felt like planting some little geraniums. And let's see, back here. Okay, maybe I have time to do a little bit of color, a little bit of texture on that other tree. Let's see. A little bit of color, so I'm just picking up everything. I'm using my sponge because it's fast. And so I'm literally wiping up my whole palette. Yeah. I'm going, oh, I have some flowers here. So let's see if this is dry. Yeah, let's take them off. Using my eraser over here that erases masking fluid. We've got some white flowers here. I could do more. I see something happening here. Oh, I'll wipe it up. Oh, a little paint ran down on my wall. I got it up a little bit here. Okay, so I want to show you something else if I can find it. I suppose I want to put more flowers, and I forgot. So here, in fact, this is what's been, let me see what I have already on my palette. Yeah, I do. Here is some white gouache, and I'm going to make some more flowers. Well, maybe I'll add a little drop. I added a little drop. What I did was add a little yellow to this white, and this white was already on my. So if you forgot, we cheat a little bit, and we go ahead and we add some white paint, a little bit here and there. I'll change it a little bit, but okay. Let me get some green leaves. I'm putting a little green here and there. This little flower pot. That's a little flower pot. Another thing here is right on this wall. Believe it or not, is a little gate. And I'm still mixing my blue and brown together. I have a little gate. One other thing, and then I think I have to take this back to my studio and see, stand back and see what colors I need to add more. And what I'm doing is putting a little bit of maybe some little blocks. Yeah, make sure they're going in the right direction. I don't want too many. I think I want one here. And I know that there's some things that, that I have to add. Oh, I wish this wasn't here. And if I took a big brush, I might be able to quickly I'm using my cerulean blue this time. Let's see. It bothered me to see that. That was an accident. Actually, it was my fault for leaving all this white. So I'm covering up this edge with a little bit of purple. So I want to disguise my mistake. It's sort of fun, although you worry about it, to disguise mistakes. I might make some of this darker. I think that probably, yeah. Oh, that makes the table even stand out lighter, actually. I have a web page, and I paint all kinds of subject matter. A lot of New York scenes, not too many flowers. So if you would like, look at my web page. It's judyswatercolors.com. And I show you a lot of different ideas. Not that I don't have any more. So please come there and look at my web page and see if you can remember some of the things. I worked a short time, but I know that there are some other little touches that I may do in my studio. But just come and look at my web page. Thanks, and I hope that you try something. Maybe not as difficult as this. Thanks for coming.